Elowen adjusted the straps of her backpack, her heart hammering against her ribs. The mist clung to the ancient stone walls of the old village, and a chill settled into her bones. She'd left the bustling university labs behind, drawn by an insatiable curiosity and the haunting song of the elusive Welsh nightingale. She was met with wary stares as she knocked on the door of a dilapidated stone cottage. "Seeking the nightingale, are you?" An old woman, her eyes as sharp as the mountain winds, regarded her with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. "I am," Elowen replied, a smile attempting to break through the knot in her stomach. "I'm an ornithologist. I've heard whispers of its song." The woman didn't say a word, merely gestured towards the winding path that disappeared into the fog-shrouded hills. "He'll be waiting," the woman said, then turned back into the darkness, leaving Elowen alone with the whispering wind and the sense that she was walking towards something she didn't fully understand. The path was a tapestry of stones and twisted branches, each step drawing Elowen deeper into the wilderness. She stopped, her breath catching as the wind carried a melancholic song that vibrated in the air. The melody, sweet and ethereal, danced on the breeze, pulling her forward. Suddenly, a shadow shifted beside a fallen tree, startling her. A young man emerged, his eyes as green as the surrounding hills. "The nightingale's song is a call," he said, his voice deep and melodic. A call not easily answered, especially for those who see only the scientific explanation. Finnian's gaze held hers, his words hinting at a deeper understanding of the world, something beyond the scientific data she sought. She felt a pang of defiance against the unspoken judgment in his words. She was no stranger to the world of science, and yet a yearning blossomed inside her, sparked by this stranger and his mysterious warnings. The village echoed with whispered tales of the nightingale. It wasn't a mere bird, but a creature of legend, a guardian of the land. As the nights grew darker, so did Finnian's stories, stories that resonated with an ancient magic, stories that hinted at a deep connection between the songbird and the fate of the land. The legends spun a tapestry of love, loss, and a forbidden magic that whispered in the shadows, a magic tied to the very existence of the nightingale. Finnian's stories unfurled like ancient scrolls, unraveling a history entwined with his own. Elowen, usually so grounded in the realm of logic, felt an undeniable tug toward the whispers of this forbidden magic, toward the man whose words painted worlds both wondrous and terrifying. The mist clung to the valley as they walked beneath a canopy of ancient oaks, each branch etched with stories as old as time. Their footsteps were the only sound, a rhythm that grew stronger with each passing day. Elowen felt drawn to Finnian's quiet strength, to the warmth in his eyes as he told his stories, and the knowledge of the land that pulsed in his very being. A spark ignites within Elowen, the flames fueled by a yearning she couldn't ignore, and by the danger that hovered beneath the surface of Finnian's words. As he spoke, the lines between myth and reality blurred. Elowen stood at the edge of a whispering wood, the air thick with the fragrance of wild herbs and damp earth. She'd come too far to be deterred, to let the ancient magic and Finnian's whispers turn her away from her research. Tonight, under the cloak of the moon, she would seek the nightingale. With each rustle of leaves and snap of twigs, her heart raced, hoping for the elusive song. But as the night wore on, there was no sound, only the haunting silence of a creature lost. When she stumbled back towards the village, Finnian was waiting for her, a look of concern etched across his features. "The nightingale is not meant to be captured," he whispered, his voice grave, the scent of the forest heavy on his clothes. As the days melted into weeks, Elowen's obsession deepened, spurred on by a thirst to solve the mystery of the missing nightingale. Finnian remained a constant presence, his knowledge of the land an enigma. But he held back, his words tinged with a melancholic undertone. One morning, she awoke to the sight of bulldozers tearing into the hillside, a development project aimed at constructing a luxury resort. This intrusion into the heart of the Welsh countryside, into the land she'd come to love, fueled a fierce anger within her. As she confronted Finnian about it, he simply nodded grimly, the news seeming to confirm a long-held fear. Standing on a precipice overlooking the sprawling landscape, the wind whipping at her face, Elowen felt an unsettling truth seep into her bones. Finnian, a man she'd begun to fall for despite the swirling emotions surrounding their connection, was more than just a guardian of the land. He was its voice. She realized his fears stemmed not only from the destruction of the natural world, but from something far more profound. The nightingale, the land itself, was woven into the fabric of his soul. "There is a way," Finnian said, his gaze lost in the swirling mists. "A way to bring the nightingale's song back. But the path is not for the faint of heart. It requires sacrifice, the willingness to bend to the will of the ancient powers. A willingness I know you struggle with, Elowen." Her hand went to her heart, and for the first time, she admitted that it wasn't just the science, the puzzle, that kept her in the Welsh countryside. Finnian was there too, his enigmatic presence casting a spell over her soul, making her crave a world where myth and logic intertwined. As they journeyed through the hills, a wave of conflicting emotions coursed through Elowen. Fear mingled with a fierce sense of determination as they confronted the ancient powers, their essence pulsing in the land, whispering through the trees, a potent magic that challenged everything Elowen had ever learned. With the nightingale's song filling the air, they fought, their love a burning ember against the darkness. In that battle, Elowen finally embraced her truth. The nightingale was more than just a creature of study. It was the essence of her newfound heart's yearning. The heart that yearned for a love as strong as the magic that thrummed through the land. Elowen and Finnian stood on a hill overlooking the valley, their hands intertwined as the sunrise kissed the hills, painting the landscape with hues of gold and scarlet. The air was alive with the melody of the nightingale's song, a triumph over the forces of destruction, a promise of hope for the land, and a love that defied definition. Elowen was no longer the scientist who sought to dissect the world, but a woman embracing the mysterious magic woven through her life. The land, the songbird, and the man beside her became her world, a symphony of myth and reality, where the heart's song was the most powerful truth of all.